Okay, this is Randy Sprinklers, and I want to talk about something different today. Um, I want to talk about the development of the PJ arm. So I remember when the PJ arm first came out, which was either mid 60s, late 60s, somewhere in that area. Um, and this would be a representation of that. This one's broken, actually. The little drip lever is broken. Um, when they first came out, well, actually, Rainbird first came out. Let me preface that. Rainbird obviously invented this. So this is a full circle sprinkler. Um, and I'm just using that as a representation for the arm. Um, so what they did is they developed this arm that they used to come up with this PJ design was basically part of this arm. So they literally cut this thing at an angle and been soldered, or let's say welded, this tube in to the arm. Now this arm's a little bit different because it is bent here by design at the back end, which you can see because it has this little ridge here. You can see at the back end it has this edge right here. So it's a little bit different. Um, so a couple things. The reason why I'm bringing this up because a lot of the sprinklers that are out today, um, and I'll just use one of these cheap ones as a good example. So this arm, which this is supposed to be a straight edge, has a little bit of the edge on the top here to send the water at an angle out to the little bit to the right. Now you probably have heard me in some of my videos where I have talked about um, the water shooting off to the right, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 45 degrees. I think in a couple of cases, maybe even close to 60 degrees. Way more than it's supposed to. It defeats the purpose of what Rainbird invented with the PJ arm, which is an anti-backsplash arm, which originally was this tube that they added into the arm. So if you were to look at this from your angle there, well, if you were to look at it, the water came out and straight out. Well, it actually did a couple things. And I don't think they probably recognized originally when they created it. But what this did, and I remember my neighbor showing me one of these sprinklers, and I'm going like, "Oh, this is neat. I don't need the backsplash anymore." And we had these metal backsplashes that were fairly large that you put behind the sprinkler stand to keep the water from hitting the home or the fence or the driveway, whatever it was that you were trying to keep it from hitting. So when Rainbird came out with um, this tube sent the water straight out. Well, eventually, when they got further along with, and this is on the brass side now, this one, which basically became the replacement for this design, has again, it's in the wrong position. If you were to look at this is all one piece that is an open edge. And this just comes straight out. There's no lip, there's no nothing at the very top. So now some of them, I think this one's brand new and I haven't tested it yet, but or I have a brand new one. Where's the orbit model? Oh, sitting right here in front of me. So let me get that out of the way. So the orbit model, which looks very much like the Rainbird model, but their design has the lip on the edge, just like this cheap one does. And it defeats the purpose of the PJ arm, because now the water is not going straight out or even at a slight angle, but now it's going way off to the right. So in the case of this one, I don't know exactly because I haven't tested it recently, so I don't remember what it does. But again, in many of the videos that I've done, you have seen where I've talked about that water going off to the right, and it defeats the purpose of the PJ arm. So I'm using the term PJ arm, and let me clarify, that stands for precision jet, if you did not already know. So, and again, Rainbird invented this precision jet design, and it's designed so that they come straight out. So with that said, I don't know the brand of this one, but this one does exactly the design straight out. And this one seems to be pretty well made. So I haven't tested this one yet. I have several of these, but it does not. When I bought it, there was a name attached to it, and I will have to look it up again. But there's no name on the unit as far as a brand. It says made in, I'm not sure if that says Mexico or not. It's too small without a mirror or a without something to see that a little closer with magnifying glass. So this is a plastic arm, and one of my complaints about this design, very fast arm, but it has a lip on the end here, just enough to send that water off to the right. And I think this one is about a good 45 degrees or so, which the sprinkler looks like this from that side and from the front. And again, there's a lip here. Defeats the purpose of the PJ arm, although not entirely. So in the brass section, in the brass sprinklers, this was the first design. Should have brought my stands out. This is the first design with the tube, and I thought that was so neat because now the water is going straight out and solves the splashing to the side problem. What Rainbird probably didn't realize is, so use this one as an example. So when the water pushes the arm back out, and then when the arm comes and hits the body, it moves the body to the next position. The arm comes back out, which then tries to take the body with it. And so and of course I don't have this thing apart, but if the bearing sleeve, and more correctly, the bearing nipple, as this is called, if it is not designed with the right washer and combination, um, what happens is the body, when the arm comes back out, wants to go back that way. And so then the arm comes back, pushes it forward, arm goes back, and it wants to turn it back. So that's when I recognized we have this body wobble. Well, the PJ arm solves that problem basically as well. And what it does is, because now when the water pushes the arm, the water is going straight forward, and so it's not forcing the body to make that turn back to the left. The water is going out instead of to the right, which pushes the body to the left. So it solves two problems, and I don't think it was intended to solve that problem, but very well done. So Rainbird, when they were trying to improve their BlackBird design, which I didn't bring out with me, came out with this model, which is the P5 PJ, and this says -C, which stands for carded. So I picked this up online, and it was still all in one piece like this. Kind of hard to show you, but the arm has a nice straight piece. There's no lip on the edge here. So this is just very nice and smooth. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I hope that it shows in the video. So that was the first PJ plastic model. This is the first PJ plastic model design. Very well done. Rainbird was smart. Shortly after that, Nelson came out with their PJ arm, and you can see that it's designed differently, but with the same concept. Same concept. So the water goes straight out with this particular design, and that's the Nelson Beta 2 sprinkler. Now, if you didn't look real close, you would say these are the same. They're almost the same. This one is an aqua line, and the back end of this is a little bit different. The other thing too is, if you look at the back end of the Rainbird here, this is much thicker, wider than this one is here, which also has a lot to do with the balance of it. But they made this one very well because it is also very smooth on the edge. very well done. Um, Here is another one that again is a takeoff of the Rainbird PJ5 model. Exactly the same design, and it looks exactly the same. And again, they did it right. They followed the right process. This is smooth in here. So I haven't tested, I have tested out one of these. I just happened to pick up one that hasn't been removed from the card. So this was an Optima brand, which I don't think you can find anymore. Somebody's probably still holding some. So that being said, here's what's unusual or really kind of interesting. All of these other sprinklers, really any of these, no, they're not going to stand. So if you were to look at the arm, arm, the arm design here, the PJ portion of the arm, this one is a little bit different. I got this one recently, and there's no brand name to this. And I don't know if this comes from Australia, but this has the single lever, the stops, has the single lever stop design like the Nelson and the Gilmore models, single lever. So I've got to do some more research on this one. This arm is designed a little bit different. This one is smooth at the edge, and rightfully so. But it's their design. And so it doesn't have the same, so like if you were to look at this one and you were to look at the arms and you see this one follows the design of the Rainbird. This one kind of does it just a little bit different, their own design. So I haven't tested this one yet, but I will. So I thought what was important is all of these follow. I mean, if I put these all side by side and you were to look at them all, the arm, the PJ portion of the arm, is essentially identical to that of the Rainbird. So you can see the Rainbird arm, same design. So that is something that caught my attention, and I had no idea that they essentially were the same until I started really looking at them closely. And so that caught my attention. Even the Gilmore sprinkler, same design. Well, okay, I say Gilmore because Nelson, Gilmore, and Bosch are all part of the Fiskars company. So it's all one. And I have seen online a Fiskars sprinkler, but it's not common. So this design is also the same design. Of course, they do a lot of other parts on their sprinkler differently, and that's understandable. The other part that's also basically the same is the reverse mechanism, which is basically the same. Same kind of trip lever, same kind of spring and action for the trip mechanism. So Rainbird decided to let this one go to the side and stop making this one. This is still one of their best designs and sprinklers, and this came out I'm going to say late 60s, early 70s, but I think this was late 60s that this design came out. And well, this came out, and then shortly after, the Nelson model came out. Um, so Rainbird decided they wanted to get even smarter, and they did actually. So as we know on all of these sprinklers, when you look at the nozzle, some of them you can take the nozzle out, and which I've been doing for years. I've been removing the nozzles on the old Rainbird for years. So same thing with this. The nozzle can be removed, not necessarily easily, and they're pretty much interchangeable. So Rainbird got smart and they redesigned their PJ arm. So PJ arm here now, the water goes up and around and then back out. And you go like, wow, that seems strange. Well, I think that even makes the sprinkler even a little bit more secure, um, with the stability of the sprinkler or the design. So they did that. At the same time, they moved their reverse mechanism to the back. Um, oh, and here's the other part that they did, kind of interesting. Why is that back there like that? Okay. The other part that they did interesting is that the nozzle became removable. So they designed this so you can take and easily make this a very um, flexible sprinkler in the design. And so you have this removable nozzle. And so they have like 5, 6, or 7 different sizes. I don't know exactly. Um, but it just snaps back in there. Strangely enough, this is a great design. Orbit copied the design. Same basic design of the arm. You look at the arm, same design. Um, you look at the reverse mechanism, same basic reverse mechanism. The only part that's really a little different is the deflector on here. Deflector on this unit is not that good. Uh, the diffuser is great. Um, and again, they did their diffuser the same way. Their deflector is much better than what Rainbird did. Uh, their previous design of the sprinkler was made in the United States. The rest of these are not. Um, this is the second design. So the first design had basically this flat tail. The tail end was a kind of a squarish flat end, very nicely done, and it is in one of my videos that I've already put out there, and the test works great. So the last one I want to show you is, I already showed you the arm, and so in this particular design, these are removable. They work the same way. Let's see if I can do it. Nope, my fingers are just aren't going to quite do it today. Let's see, can I get that one? Nope. So anyway, these are removable as well. They basically copied the same design as Rainbird. Um, Slightly different because they've got this hook on both sides where Rainbird has a kind of a lever here, um, on the edge. So it's a little bit different. So there's a lot of copying that gets done. That's what I wanted to talk about today. As soon as it warms up, which right now it's a little bit cold out here, I will be doing a lot more testing. I've got sprinklers sitting in front of me that have not been tested yet, and you will get a chance to see them. But with all of that, I'm going to say please subscribe, please press the like button, and I will also write up a description and the details. And please feel free to read that because that will also hopefully give you some more information about the importance of the original Rainbird PJ design. Now, of course, this is the plastic design. Where's the tube here? This is the original tube design. So both of those are important in our current design of the sprinklers that we see today. So with that, we will call it a video and see you hopefully the next time.